Hello.
Hello.
There's nobody there.
I had to have my smile on for a long time there
I got a jaw ache.
as we went live.
It was buffering and buffering and
I was
buffering.
buffering.
I was buffering.
I'm an old buffer.
Yeah. I don't bloody
Who's
know.
here? Come on in.
Who's here? So we're
Make
white
yourself
white
known.
hats. If you're wondering, our choice of hats this week is the white hats.
Yeah. It could have been interpreted many other ways.
We won't say what ways it could have been interpreted.
No.
If you hear a weird noise, it's because I keep moving the mic because we've got a rubbish mic. There it is, little tiny fella.
Poor little rubbish Mike.
There he is, rubbish Mike.
Bless him.
I'm going to put some little eyes on him next week.
Yep.
Little rubbish Mike.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So we'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody's coming
Mari,
in.
hello.
It's
Party hats.
It's the white hats. We've come to save the universe.
That's right. We're gonna fight the New World Order.
Yeah, with our white hats.
This is it.
Basically, we forgot that we want a new hat every week. So, Linda!
Hey, Linda.
God, that was my bloody
Oh,
ear roll.
Christ.
So, yeah, literally, we've got jaw rake because...
Green tea.
Hi!
Sorry.
So rude.
Oh.
We got a jaw rake because when we were waiting, we pressed live and the buffering was going round and round and round. So me and Matt were like this for about 3 minutes. So it was a bit awkward, right?
Yeah.
So this is the white hats. You might want to put that in there for people that come in and go, what the bloody hell's the matter with you?
Well, yeah, the green tea's got it.
Green tea's got it.
Well, greetings, white hats.
Yeah, we're the white hats. So we've come to save the day. We'll go to the White House and save, clean the swamp.
Yeah.
With the white hats.
We're draining the swamp.
How is everybody? We got a few bits and pieces we're going to do. We got the news of the day. We've got the quiz, and then Mark's going to rub it on for a bit, aren't you?
Yeah. So if you want to head off at that point,
I'm gonna. I'm going. No, it was really good last week. We're doing ourselves an injustice. I played it back the next day, and I was thoroughly impressed with myself.
Yeah.
And you.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Well,
no, we did a good job last week. I was quite surprised.
Well, yeah.
Oh, can everybody hear us? We're supposed to ask that at the beginning, I think.
Yeah. Is there sound? That's probably important.
Yeah, let's wait and see.
Can you hear us?
You don't have to keep saying it. Oh, yeah, maybe you do.
Well, yeah, if you can't, people can't.
Let's not just keep saying that for 10 minutes. Yes, they could. God, that must have been the most boring 2 minutes of your life.
Right.
Shall we make a start then?
Yeah.
Oh, here's John.
John.
All right, John. We're white hats, not anything dodgy from America in the 50s.
No.
Because we didn't realise that's what it looked like until we turned the thing on.
Or we could be chefs.
Or Smurfs.
Yeah.
So, take your choice.
I didn't realise the Smurfs were in the Ku Klux Klan.
We weren't going to say those words. No, we're going to get taken off now.
No.
We've been really careful for the last 3 minutes and 18 seconds to not say those words. Hey. What happens? Oh, yeah. Thumbs up it. Like and subscribe.
Yeah.
And share. That's what they say.
Yeah.
Professionals.
Yeah, we are professionals.
Yeah. Right, shall we do some tinfoil hat news? Boop, 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 boop,
oh,
boop,
yeah.
Boop, boop. We haven't got the thing that makes a noise this week. I've lost it. Oh. That's probably a good thing. I think it was running out of batteries.
We are, yeah. We are very Smurfy, but
heightened
not blue.
Professionals.
Yeah.
We are quite Smurfy. But it was supposed to be white hats, but I don't actually know what they look like or even if they exist. So
well, it's difficult to
they just exist.
Represent something.
They exist in our kitchen right now. Yeah. Mark's is actually a bobble hat. And he's got a little white bobble.
So I'm going to overheat. I probably won't turn blue. I'll turn bloody red.
I gave him a really nice haircut today, and I've covered it up with a white bobble hat.
He's still got my beard in display.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, thank you very much.
We should have done the beard. Next time we'll do the beard as well.
I thought you did.
Some decorations.
Oh, we'll see decorations.
We'll decorate the beard.
Yes.
That could be something we do.
Good.
You can actually get Christmas decorations for... You can get Christmas decorations for beard. I've bloody seen them.
I'm sure you can.
I actually can't believe we've never done that, though.
Yeah, well...
we could use the normal ones for the tree, giant baubles on your head.
Yeah.
Let's just get on with it.
Yeah, get on with
before everybody gets bored.
Yeah.
Right.
There's a few minutes while there's still some people in there.
So first of all, we're going to do tinfoil hat news, and I do this bit, don't I?
You do.
I do it quite well.
Do it.
I surprised myself with
Do
this bit. If you keep hearing a weird noise, it's because of
Rubbish mic.
Rubbish Mike. I'm going to put some little eyes on him. Look at our tiny little rubbish mic. And sometimes when Mark talks, we do that. And sometimes when I talk, we do that. And then I didn't realise till last week, it sounds like we're being possessed. Like, that sounds really bad on when you play it back. Yeah.
Sorry to everybody.
Never mind, it'll be all right. Right. You keep a lookout on there.
Yeah, all right.
Right.
Keep on chatting, peeps.
Got your spanner, Mari. Got your spanner.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can bloody well kick that Linda out if she starts causing any trouble.
Yeah.
Right. So, tinfoil hat news. Davos. I might move over here. Davos. I thought he was the leader of the Daleks. You know the Daleks. The ones who want to exterminate us. No. But also, yes. Davos is a town in the Swiss Alps. It's a popular ski resort that hosts the annual conference of wannabe cyborgs who also want to exterminate us. The World Economic Forum. Thousands of massive jets that definitely don't use fossil fuels descended on the picturesque town of Davos during January the 15th to the 19th, scattering strange, scaly psychopaths intent on plotting the imminent demise of mankind for its own good. Trust the science. But it isn't all work at Davos, however. More definitely not powered by fossil-fueled private jets were commandeered to usher in emergency, scantily clad entertainment. Due to all of the escort agencies in the area being fully booked up. That's probably just a coincidence. He's going there next year.
Scantily clad.
It's a bit cold over there for that, Mark.
True. Yeah.
The theme this year is rebuilding trust. I'll pause so you can laugh hysterically until you puke, ladies and gentlemen. With statements like, farming and fishing equate to ecocide, and demanding they both be criminalised. I kind of trust them about as much as a convoy of angry tractor drivers in Germany do right now. No, seriously, that's a thing. You probably haven't even heard about that because there's so many of them. It's been deemed hardly newsworthy. So no point. There's so many of them.
Why would the BBC cover that?
Who wants to know about that? Who wants to know about farmers getting pissed off?
Yeah.
Not me. I definitely trust people who demand food to be criminalised. Don't eat, save lives. We don't have time, and I don't have patience to sit and listen to much of the maniacal James Bond villainy that took place at Davos this year. But the one thing that does need looking at is this. The Global Risks Report 2024, 19th edition Insight Report. So, the top risk, according to these nutters, this year is, wait for it, misinformation and disinformation. I take it they don't mean their misinformation and disinformation, right? I've got to get my phone for this bit because I'm going to read out a little paragraph that's in this Global Risk Report for 2024. Emerging as the most severe global risk anticipated over the next 2 years, foreign and domestic actors alike will leverage misinformation and disinformation to further widen societal and political divides. This is in chapter 1.3, false information, apparently, on this report. As close to 3 billion people are expected to head to the electoral polls across several economies, including Bangladesh, India, Indonesia, Mexico, Pakistan, the United Kingdom, and the United States over the next 2 years. The widespread use of misinformation and disinformation by them and tools to dismantle it may undermine the legitimacy of newly elected governments. Not seen that before, have we? Resulting unrest could range from violent protests and hate crimes to civil confrontation and terrorism. Beyond elections, perceptions of reality are likely to also become more polarized, infiltrating the public discourse on issues ranging from public health to social justice. However, as truth is undermined, the risk of domestic propaganda and censorship will also rise in turn. In response to mis- and disinformation, governments could be increasingly empowered to control information based on what they determine to be true. They've got true. They're doing that, not me. Well, I am doing that, but because they're doing it. Freedoms relating to the internet, press, and access to wider sources of information that are already in decline risk descending into broader repression of information flows across a wider set of countries. There's nothing to worry about there. I don't know what all the fuss is about. So, the number one risk in 2024, according to these, is misinformation and disinformation. So, what else is on the list, Liz? So, what else? So second, the things that they want us to worry about, and we know we should worry about them. Well, I'm not going to worry about it, but they want us to worry about it because they're going to bloody do it. Second, extreme weather events. Third, societal polarization. Fourth, cyber insecurity. Fifth, interstate armed conflict. 6, lack of economic opportunity. 7th, inflation. 8th, involuntary migration. 9th, economic downturn. And finally, in at number 10, pollution. Well, I saw a lot of that in the skies at the weekend. Gave me a right bloody sore throat. But hold on a minute. I think what's happened here, they've mixed up their documents. I think they've messed it up a little bit, Mark. So this one obviously isn't the Global Risks Report. This one is obviously the Global Evil Depopulation Plan 2024, 9th edition Insight Report. Silly billies. So in a nutshell, they could have saved themselves an awful lot of time, energy from non-fossil fuels, obviously, money and STDs by simply quoting the obvious inspiration behind all of this nonsense. And as it happens, their inspiration is a very close acquaintance of the Daleks, the Cybermen. Why didn't they just get Klaus Schwab to shout, "Assimilate!" at us until his ridiculously strange head just exploded? And as an aside, what happened to that pig-tailed little pixie dwarf thing this year? I'm wondering if she's descended back into the lower astral because there's no mention of her. Anyway, that's the end of my report on the 2024 Davros Cyberman Forum. Good night. Well, it's not good night, stay, because we've got to do the quiz. Don't go anywhere. Bloody hell. So that's my news report.
Yeah, so
very good.
Important,
quite very important.
Interesting, love it.
Very interesting. I thought I read it well. There's a bit of humour.
Oh, don't big yourself up too much.
Oh, there's a load of shit.
Yeah, I like their to-do list. Oh yeah, this is what we've got to do for the next year. Oh,
yeah, we just accidentally
misinformation.
Their to-do list. Well done, that was good for you. Well done. Thanks. I can't take you seriously with your hat on.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now
good reporting, says Linda.
Thanks, Linda. I should do it for a living. I think. I don't think they'd report. I don't think they'd hire me though, would they? Because of me hat, probably. Right, now for the big event.
Oh, this is what everyone's been
It's
in
what
for.
everybody's waiting
Everyone's been
for.
revising.
Now,
Yeah.
we do prizes, and Maury will be able to testify to how bloody brilliant the prizes are, won't you, Maury?
Yeah.
I could take that spanner off you, mind. Very good prizes. I'd like it. That's why I gave it to Maury.
Ben
Right.
likes his prize so much, he's not in the chat.
Oh, bless him. Well,
I'm
I
sure
hope
he's
he
doing
got
something.
it.
Oh, well, you get it very soon.
Right, okay. Well,
Linda, you're going to do well.
You're going to do well, Linda.
Yeah.
Fingers on buzzers, please. Now, we're not doing an A, B, C answer because we get muddled up and we don't know what's going on. So if you can just write, you don't have to write the whole sentence of the answer, but just like, for example, a word.
Or a bit of a word.
Or a bit of a word.
You know.
Well, a legible bit.
We're not marking spelling. John's already gone in B.
I'm going to give her a point for humour. Get it on the fit. Give John a point for humour.
All right, point for humour for John.
Nobody else is getting a point for humour because you were too bloody slow. John, you've got a point for humour. You made us laugh. You're going to have to do better than just that, though, if you want to win the bloody fantastic prize we've got. Right. Can you hear Mark? Because I've selfishly got it over here by me. I've got rubbish mic over here by me. But can you hear it?
I'm not saying very much of note, to be fair.
That's true, actually. It's not even worth me putting it over there, to be honest.
Building myself for later. Johnny can hear me.
Oh, that's true, actually. Okay, fingers on buzzers, please. Right. This is bloody good, this is. Yeah. I've got 3 weeks of quizzes already written. I'm pretty good. I get a little bit obsessed with this. It's not bloody sad.
No, it's not sad. It's good.
It's the only bit of bloody entertainment we get a week. Yep. Right. Oh, sorry, about this backwards. Okay, let's go. 1. Another synonym of esoteric is the word Kabbalistic. With which religion does this term relate? Islam, Zoroastrianism, Ionism.
It's easy for you to say.
Yep, that's exactly how they say it as well. Hinduism, Judaism. Now, we're not going to say nothing because he's been like giving it away. Don't say anything.
No, I'm not. But Alison's here.
Hi.
Hi, Alison.
Don't say anything.
No, I'm not going to mention anything.
Brilliant. So the answer is Judaism. Who got there first?
Alison came in first.
Well done.
We've got lots of other good right answers, but Alison was the winner on that one. Well done.
Brilliant. Right. The word Kabbalistic literally refers to esoteric doctrine. I give you bloody information on this one as well.
This isn't
a question.
This is
I'm going to give you information. Addendum.
Addendum.
It's a good word. It's addendum. The word Kabbalistic literally refers to esoteric doctrine, such as that found in the Jewish Kabbalah or Kabbalah, one's a K and one's a C. Mystical Judaism. The word is from rabbinical Hebrew and ultimately means to receive or accept. It's like school being around us, Mark. Dunce's hats. That's one we could actually use next week. Right, let's get to the second question. Fingers on buzzers, please. Second question. What is traditionally the last card in the major arcana of a standard tarot deck? The Fool, the World, Death, or Judgment? I feel like we need some music. I'm so blind. You're going to have to be on there because I can't see nothing.
Yeah. Boris says, what about tea cozies?
Oh, brilliant! Right, okay, you can all send us in ideas for hats because we're running out. We did tin foil hats last week and we've run out now.
Right, we're getting varied answers.
Oh.
Win-win. Welcome. Yes, thank you for coming in.
Hello. That's a nice name. Okay, so the answer is the World. Who put the World first?
Win-win.
Yay!
Steam's in.
Steaming right in. Oh, I bet you that clapping next to Rubbish Mike was really quite disturbing.
Well, Rubbish Mike is
I'm going to get some little eyes for Rubbish Mike.
It's a good job there's no one in the chat called Mike. They might get blooming,
Right.
insulted.
Oh, here's a little explanation. Because I do that. It's learning.
Yeah,
learning. I thought you might like a bit of learning.
Mm-hmm.
The World is traditionally the last card in the major arcana of a standard tarot deck. This card represents completion, fulfillment, and achievement. It signifies the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. The World card represents a sense of wholeness, harmony, and integration. It symbolizes reaching a state of balance and understanding in one's life journey. Learning. It's learning for you. Right.
Marie says, is it number 22?
Yeah.
We asked the questions.
Oh, bloody hell, that's an angry man. But I told you, didn't I? None of you believed me.
Especially when we don't know the answer.
You all felt sorry for it. Right. Right, number 3. Fingers on buzzers, please. Traditionally, the element of air is associated with what faculty? Passion, thought, the ability to create, or love? So air, what is it associated with?
Lots of answers coming in.
Interesting. John's thinking about it. Or is that an emoji for thought? Oh, clever. Oh. He's been very clever today. Yeah. So the answer is thought. Well done, everybody.
Yes, everyone got that right.
Who got it first?
Alison was in first.
Well done. Oh, Alison, well done. You're doing well.
Yeah.
A bit of learning for everybody. The element of air is traditionally associated with thought. Air is often seen as representing the intellect, communication, and the realm of ideas. It is believed to be a symbol of mental activity, logic, and rational thinking. This association may stem from the fact that air is invisible and intangible, much like thoughts and ideas. Additionally, air is constantly moving and flowing, just like thoughts that come and go in our minds. Therefore, it is fitting to associate the element of air with the faculty of thought. You don't get learning with all of them, I'm afraid. Most of them. I think that's good. That's a good thing. Right, number 4. Which well-known equation is employed to calculate the approximate number of technologically advanced civilizations in our galaxy? Drake equation, Ben would have got this one. Fermi equation, Einstein equation, Hawking equation.
Oh, that's a tester.
Tester?
Yeah.
I would have got that one, but I got it written down.
I might have guessed right, but then again, I might guess wrong.
Yeah. Well done, babe.
Linda, you got to actually type. You got to type
it. Or there is no 2. Drake equation, Fermi equation, Einstein equation, Hawking equation. I think Linda meant Fermi by 2.
Well, I presume that, yeah.
Yeah. We'll give you that, my love. But the actual answer is Drake.
Alison again.
Bloody hell.
Wow, fantastic.
She just Mari must have shown her the present.
Yeah, that's it.
She's just after that.
Yeah, she's been doing extra revision.
Absolute rubbish. Learning. The Drake equation is a probabilistic. What the hell is that?
It's probably true, but they don't really
know. They don't know. So it might not even.
It's like most of the theories.
Most of the stuff that comes out of our mouth. The Drake equation is a probabilistic argument used to estimate the number of active, communicative, extraterrestrial civilization in the Milky Way galaxy.
Well, Alison said it's just a guess. Well, you guessed right.
Oh, Christ.
Calculated guess.
I just hit Rubbish Mike.
He's had a hard time with it lately, isn't he?
He's rubbish. Which one is not a type of megalith? Menhir, alignment, dolmen, henge, batholith. which is really difficult to say. Yes, it does mean that. She's talking about us.
Oh, there's a lot of shouts for the same thing on the.
We'll give everybody a little go, see what they will get on with it. But we're not supposed to be saying that because
yeah, I didn't say.
Yeah, but you next time just don't say nothing.
But I said a lot of people have answered things.
When he's on the defensive, he goes really high pitched, like a little girl.
The answers were or whether they were
noddy.
right or not. I didn't make any comment.
Right, the answer is batholith. And I forgot to write down what it actually was, but you looked it up.
It is like a natural rock formation. So although it's got lith at the end of it, it's a natural rock formation, like the kind of thing I think you get like in the west of the US, like in not the Grand Canyon as such, but that sort of Monument Valley with the big classic rocks that stand up out of the desert. You got a
bloody mime of a rock then.
Yeah. Definitely. Very nice pictures if you Google it.
So it looks like it's a megalith, but it's actually not. What?
Linda came in with Buffalo. Did you come in before we said the answer?
Oh God, now we got a conundrum.
Did you, Linda?
I don't know.
You're laughing.
I think she's taking the mick. I told Linda, Mar's got a spanner, and she's not afraid to use it. All right. Cheeky monkey. Right. Number 6. What percentage of Europeans agreed that much of what happens in the world today is decided by a small and secretive group of individuals in a 2021 society? So what percentage...
2021 survey, so sorry.
Oh, yeah, what do I say?
Society.
I can't bloody read. I've got to do all the reading. I'm not even very good at it. I can't even see. Right, what percentage of Europeans agreed that much of what happens in the world today is decided by a small and secretive group of individuals in a 21 survey? So how many people know that shit's happening? 62%, 12%, 86%, 4%. Keep your cake all shut.
I ain't saying nothing.
She's a screw today. Got a bloody screw loose, more like. Should we do this?
Yeah, I was waiting for the take art music.
So, who's the first one in there with 62%?
It's Alison again.
And how great is that?
Brilliant. Storming ahead.
We forgot to say, we're keeping a lookout for somebody that works with Mark and keeps coming into the chat, but doesn't tell us who he is. And then he comes back and tells Mark on a Monday, oh, I said this in the chat and you bloody ignored me. And Mark's like, I didn't bloody see you. And so he's being secretive.
We're going to see if you
We're going to find you today. So we decided we won't tell people who your name is because you're obviously trying to be secretive. So we're going to call you Sandra. Yeah. That's not his name. It's a bald bloke. Well, or is it? Or is it? Right. So the answer is 62%. 62% of Europeans agree that much of what happens in the world today is decided by a small and secretive group of individuals. And that's bloody brilliant. And that's mainly because of all of us lot just banging on at them, to be fair. Right, number 7. How many steel-framed, fire-protected, high-rise buildings other than the 3 World Trade Center high-rises on 9/11 have totally collapsed? So beside the Twin Towers and Building 7, apart from those, in the world, how many other steel-framed, fire-protected buildings have totally collapsed? And I ain't got any numbers. So you guess your numbers. How many, apart from those 3, have totally collapsed, which have been steel framed and fire protected?
Hello, Margaret.
Oh, hi, Margaret.
Got some catching up to do.
Linda's not behaving herself, and so I've threatened her with Mari's spanner already. which you're probably not surprised about. So she's kicking off already. Right, has everybody answered?
Well, we've had quite a few answers come in, and
so the answer is none. Well done, everybody.
Everyone's got it right. But
you've got it right first.
Guess who's first?
I have no idea. I can't see a thing.
Well, it'll be Alison again.
Bloody hell, she's bloody storming.
Yeah.
Storming Norman.
Close to a clean sweep.
Right, we've got some learning going on. There have, however, been partial collapses of steel frame, fire-protected, high-rise buildings around the world, and a total collapse of a steel frame, high-rise building without fire protection. I've got you quite a lot of learning on this one. And that was in Iran. Although AE 9/11 Truth has documented overwhelming evidence that the collapse of this building was caused by controlled demolition. There have also been partial and total collapses of hybrid steel, reinforced concrete frame high-rise buildings without fire protection. All the other buildings in New York had all of it, okay? As well as partial and total collapses of reinforced concrete frame buildings, but not steel, which typically don't have fire insulation. There has also been a total collapse of a concrete frame building without steel reinforcement. Therefore, the Twin Towers and Building 7 stand alone as the only steel frame, fire-protected, high-rise buildings to experience total collapse, ostensibly due to fire. Learning.
Yeah. Margaret likes her hats.
We're white hats, not racists.
Or Smurfs.
Or Smurfs.
Or racist Smurfs.
So that's...
That don't like green people. Because they're blue.
I hope they can't hear you because you're too far away from Rubbish Mike for that nonsense. And you wonder... Actually, I should share it, shouldn't I? Right, number 8. Fingers on the buzzers, please. Where is the biggest stone circle in the world? And we've talked about this so many times. You're not getting any clues for this one. You bloody get it up there. Smurfette. I am Smurfette. She was a bit of a one, wasn't she? I always thought with her high heels on. Where is the biggest stone circle in the world? Don't forget, if you talk into Rubbish Mike, Froud. Oh, that's really annoying. Right, everybody done? It's Avebury,
Linda.
Linda!
She says Scotland.
Where is
She's coming with Scotland. We were there dowsing with you.
6 nutters went to Avebury.
Yeah.
And Linda. There's some things you can't forgive a person for.
No,
and the second, we won't say where the second biggest one is because, actually we will.
No, we won't because it might come.
Yeah, but they'll Google it now because I've just said.
No, well,
thank you. No, I just said it.
Anyway.
Avebury is the biggest stone circle in the world. It doesn't mean it's got the biggest stones.
Woody Black's in.
Yay!
Hey, Woody Black.
Hi.
Thanks for joining.
It doesn't mean it's got the biggest stones. It just means it's the biggest circumference. Is that all right? Yeah. So what are we doing? Imagine if anybody came in that.
Yeah. The outer extremities.
There we go.
Yeah. Well, we got. I don't think we've had a bigger variety of answer really. We've got France, Italy, Spain, Scotland.
We've got Scotland, Spain, oh shite, and hi.
Every day's a school day, Linda. Yeah. Well, how about the school day when you were actually in Avebury in the middle of the stone circle that's biggest in the world?
And me and you were led on the floor with our socks off.
Yeah. Watch the videos, everybody.
Yeah.
Which is on the Crafty Niles channel.
Or don't. Me and Linda are led on the floor with our socks off.
No, but the dowsing, it was going mental.
It was
thanks to our mate Pete.
It was going mental.
Well,
anyway,
one right answer, and it's from Alison again.
Well done, Alison.
Thank you, and well done, Alison.
She's the only bloody one that listens. I tell you. No, it is not. She's being rude.
All right, well, give her a spanner.
She's got a bloody spanner. I don't know if she deserves one after all this.
There's a bit of you've got a bit of information on Avebury, haven't you?
Have I? Avebury. Yeah. It's learning time.
Yeah.
Avebury prehistoric stone circle is the largest in the world. Linda. The encircling henge consists of a huge bank and ditch, 1.3 kilometres in circumference. That's my good word. Within which 180 local, I'm going to sneeze in a minute, unshaped standing stones. You're going to have to finish it. I'm going to sneeze.
Formed the large outer and 2 smaller inner circles. Yes. So that is the biggest. Yeah.
It's a good job we're professional on this live stream.
Yeah.
So Avebury, Linda's
out the video.
Linda never going to forget it.
Have a look at our video.
6 nutters go to Avebury and then they take their socks off. Right, number 9, Mark.
Yep.
Which car company's logo features a green coiled serpent with a man, I think it looks like a baby, in its mouth?
Oh, we've got to do that.
That's what we've got to do now. I'm going to sneeze again. What are you doing?
I don't know. Linda's never going to forget that.
We're never going to let her.
Right.
We do hold grudges, Linda. No flipping clue. She's got no fucking clue.
No. Oh, Margaret. Well, it's good that you're here.
That was so patronising. Poor Margaret. Right. Okay. So the answer is Alfa Romeo. We got them.
Yeah, we got lots of Alfa Romeo.
Fabulous.
Woody Black.
Who's the
Johnny
first?
Fettler, Linda. But the first is Alison.
Bloody hell.
Right.
You're going to have to give me your address at
High-speed
this
brain
rate.
and high-speed internet with Alison.
Yeah. Stop banging the table.
Maury
It's
says
making a right racket.
Maury says medical mafia, and that's,
Wow.
Well, there's the Who has got a snake round it. Yeah.
Not quite eating a baby, but
Yeah, because that's obvious.
I mean, a car with a snake eating a man, I think it looks like a baby. It's a car. What's that got to do with a car? Anyway. Number 10. Fingers on buzzers, please. Which infamous leader's grandmother worked as a servant for the Rothschilds? I'm not going to give any clues for this one. Which infamous leader's grandmother worked as a servant for the Rothschilds? I can't remember why I'm not going to give any clues. I think it's because I thought, everybody will know that. Look at him go. Oh, well done, everybody.
Well, they got that. Well, there's a mixture of answers.
But good answers. So it was old. Am I allowed to
Charlie
even say
Chaplin?
It? It was Charlie
Say
Chaplin.
it.
It was Charlie Chaplin. Charlie Chaplin's angrier brother. The angry one.
I think you can say the words.
Don't say it just in case. Who got it right first?
It was
Mikey, you said Ku Klux Klan. We're going to get kicked off. Who's first, Mark?
It was Linda. Well done, Linda.
It wasn't.
Well, oh.
It was Mari.
Oh, it was Mari. Sorry,
bloody
Linda.
Hell. Have I got to read the answers and look at the bloody thing as well?
Oh, all right.
Bloody hell, Mari.
All right. I'm sorry, Mari.
Moustache Man.
Well done.
That's what
Linda.
we should have called him, Moustache Man. But that could have been him. So, Alois Hitler,
Linda has redeemed herself.
the father of Adolf, was allegedly the illegitimate son of Maria Anna Schicklberger. I've been practicing that for about 3 days. And Baron Rothschild. So well done, everybody.
Yeah.
Well done.
Very
even have
interesting connections.
Right, here we go. Ready for this one? You better get this one right, or it proves you haven't been listening. Number 11. What was the original working title for the Netflix series Stranger Things? Poker face, Mark. Poker face. It's really quiet, isn't it? Actually, it's probably a bit much. I'm going to count to 4 backwards. 4, 3, because 5 is what everybody do. 2, 1. Well,
there was a lot of people paying attention
very
to my
disappointed
talk
last week. It is Montauk, and I even said, Mark, you've just given the answer away to next week's quiz question. So Montauk is the answer. So that was the original working title for the Netflix series Stranger Things. So,
Margaret's talking about blue balls. I'm not sure what that's.
She usually is.
Well,
I think we should all take a point off for that one. Just take a point off for that one.
Oh dear. Well, that shows no one takes any notice of what I say.
Right, okie dokie. Number 12. What did the US government supposedly do to the USS Eldridge in 1943? Blow it up? Shrink it? Render it invisible? Margaret's at -2. Margaret got it right first.
Yeah.
Rendered it invisible.
Redeeming yourself there, just when you say you're -2.
Some people say they don't believe this. Some other people say they think Crowley's got something to do with it. But as part of the Philadelphia experiment, American scientists are alleged to have made the massive warship invisible before transporting it stealthily from Philadelphia to Norfolk. It's quite interesting, actually. So well done, Margaret.
And there was some, I think some people have put that there may be links between that Philadelphia experiment and Montauk. So they have a connection there between the two questions.
There usually is.
Yeah.
It's all planned.
But well done, peeps.
Right, number 13.
Oh, Woody Black saying, didn't they go back in time? That was also said to be something,
That's why it's so interesting to read up on that, because everybody's got a theory about it, but they're all really, really interesting. And none of them say, well, not I could find, well, there are some that say it didn't happen, but mostly people coming up with really interesting. It's just an interesting thing to read about.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, like Woody Black talking about going back in time, because I was in my talk last week, which obviously everybody paid a lot of attention to, but I was talking about the 1980s where Stranger Things is set and all these mixtures of time, and it was around when CERN was happening.
Go and listen to our last week's one. We had a very interesting chat after the live stream, didn't we?
So there's a lot about time. Yes.
Very interesting. No, it was. I listened to it back the next day. It was very good.
Yes, you can go back in time to listen to it again.
Right. 13. How many people in the US believe global warming is actually happening? 84%, 44%, 64%. So who believes the hype? 84%, 44%, 64%. Who believes in that nonsense? Oh, we've got lots of answers here. Who's the first one with 44?
Well, they're blooming Margaret again.
God, my bloody ear holes. Margaret, are you smoking crack again, love? You're doing really well.
Blue balls.
Stop being rude.
Oh.
Now, they keep surprising me, these statistics, because I'm a little bit of a gloom mongerer. But when I read these statistics, people are more kind of on the ball than you think, Mark.
I thought you said glue monger. I thought you were like talking about your bloody glue sniffing.
What? Talking about my glue sniffing?
You haven't done that since the 80s.
I've never glue sniffed. Oh. You can't get spreading rumours like that on the internet, Mark. Not without photographs.
What have we got on our heads? We've got kitchen roll wrapped around a woolly hat.
Mine's not wrapped around a woolly hat. Mine's just pure.
Yeah, that's
with the white hats.
Farmer
in case anybody doesn't know, we're the white hats that are going to save the world. Not Smurfs or the. Number 14, Mark. What was the first US state to ban chemtrails, geoengineering? The first.
No clues.
Texas, no clues. I don't know why.
Because sometimes we're hardcore.
Or I forget.
Sometimes can't bother.
And a second, you can get 2 points for this if you get the first one. But then, what was the second one? Because I got that written down. So the first one. What was the first US state to ban chemtrails? Right. So the first US state to ban chemtrails was Texas. Who got that right?
Well, I'm just blown away. Margaret again.
You shouldn't be so blown away, Margaret. He's not got a lot of faith in you, my love.
No, but Margaret was doing herself down, and she's
and then you followed her. So what?
But John Fettler got it as well, and Woody Black.
Everybody's doing well.
Yeah.
Now,
Linda.
For an extra point, who was what was the second state to ban chemtrails? But how can you ban something that doesn't exist? Margaret is on fire, Linda.
Yeah.
Right, so the second state was New Hampshire, apparently.
Yeah.
But well done, Margaret.
Yeah.
Knocking out of the park.
These are encouraging things, aren't they?
They're encouraging things.
These encouraging things.
They are encouraging things.
Yeah.
Because we had really bad chemtrailing a few days ago, and I've come down with such a bad sore throat since then, haven't I? Right, 15. Which band member or band he played in for 2 points? So the band member or the band he played in. So you can get either or both. Housed Charles Manson shortly before the Sharon Tate murders. I'm not giving you any clues for this.
No.
So which band member or band, so either or both, which band member or band or both housed Charlie Boy before the Sharon Tate murders? 2 points if you get both.
All of his family as well, as in the family.
Oh. Right, so the answer for the band is the Beach Boys.
Yeah.
So who got that first?
So Johnny Fettler. Well done, Mr. Fettler.
Well done.
But maybe give them a moment more, see if they can see if they can get the.
Does anybody know the band member? We'll just give you to the count 5 backwards.
Linda got it right as well with the band, but John was first.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Dennis Wilson.
Oh yeah.
Oh
Johnny just
we'll give that to him.
Yeah, right,
we'll give that to him.
Then.
Well done.
Dennis Wilson, it was.
Yeah. Because apparently Charles Manson was quite good at music.
Oh well, yeah.
He was interesting.
So some people said, but yeah, that I think that might be a future talking about thing.
Oh, all right, Dave.
Yeah, but no, interesting. All the links between popular culture with the Mansons and all these dodgy, undercover, covert organisations and stuff like that.
It's very dodgy.
Yeah, lots to be done there.
Well, you say that, Maru, but was he MK Ultra victim?
Well, yeah, this is the Chaos book.
Nobody's ever been put in prison for murder so long that's actually never committed a murder.
But then the thing was, anyway, we'll go into it more time. But
time.
He was on parole for years before that and did lots of other dodgy things. And the authorities kept saying, "Oh no, we'll let you go."
Right, should we move on?
We'll move on.
For God's sake,
We'll be future
banging on about this all bloody day. Right, 16.
Yeah.
Which of these movie franchises is not based on a real life haunting? Not based on a real life haunting. The Conjuring, The Exorcist, Paranormal Activity. So, which is not based on real life? The Conjuring, The Exorcist, Paranormal Activity. Oh, look, Dennis died prematurely.
Oh, there's lots more to be done there yet.
Don't start him off again, John.
Mm.
Right, has everybody got their answer down? So, who was the first person to say paranormal activity?
It was Alison.
Yay, well done, Alison.
Alison again.
So, how terrifying The Conjuring and The Exorcist were based on it. I got a story about that. Is it The Exorcist? Am I getting it muddled up with another one? Connor.
Eh?
My son. Was it The Exorcist?
No, Omen.
Omen. It's not relevant to this. I'm just going to shut up.
Right, it's an interesting story.
Stop trying to do two things at once, Mark Froud.
No, that's all right.
17. Although the exact date of Aleister Crowley's death is contested, the circumstance...
Oh, Cosmic Twilight.
Yes, don't say the name. We keep doxing people.
Got your email, thank you.
It's one of the Avebury Six.
It'll be good to see you at the Legends Conference.
Linda, you know the Cosmic Twilight. Oh, he didn't get a notification. How rude.
Oh, that's so bloody rude, isn't it?
I don't... If I got to do something for you to get one of those, I don't know. Maybe it's something I haven't done.
We'll talk about it. We'll work it out.
We only just realised how to schedule it today, didn't we?
Yeah, we're learning things as we go along. So, thanks for coming along anyway.
Yeah, and Linda, you know. There we go. Right. Although the exact date of Aleister Crowley's death is contested, the circumstances of his death are clear. Which of the following statements is true? He was killed during a blood ritual by an overzealous disciple. He committed suicide under the influence of a drug cocktail. He died in the Abbey of Thelema in Sicily. He died alone and penniless in a Hastings boarding house. So, how did Crowley die? Killed during a blood ritual by an overzealous disciple. Committed suicide under the influence of a drug cocktail. Died in the Abbey of Thelema in Sicily. Died alone and penniless in Hastings boarding house. Has everybody had a go? Everybody that's going to have a go, had a go?
Give it a minute. Yeah, there's a few answers in.
Right. So, he died alone and penniless in a Hastings boarding house. So, who was the first one with that?
Well, I'll give you one guess.
What do you mean? Oh!
I'm right, yeah?
No, you're not.
When?
Mari put alone.
Oh.
Bloody hell, he's got one job.
Sorry,
one
everybody.
Bloody job. It's a good job I'm watching.
Sorry, it was... Yeah.
Right. Have I got to do bloody everything in this bloody place?
Yes.
Again. Right. Learning.
Well,
We've got a bit of learning.
Sorry, Alison. Sorry,
it's so rude. Crowley's many failings and bad reputation finally caught up with him, and his lack of funds and followers forced him into poverty. He died in 1947 on either December the 1st or December the 5th in a boarding house in Hastings. He was, however, addicted to heroin and alone in the world. Well, we've all been there.
Yeah. I've not been to Hastings.
Right, number 18. Get it right this time. Little sod. Which notable person died as a result of Project MK Ultra? Frank Olson, Gerald Ford, JFK, Hunter S. Thompson. Which notable person, it's quite sad this, died as a result of Project MK Ultra? Frank Olson, Gerald Ford, JFK, Hunter S. Thompson. Has everybody answered?
We've got...
we'll give it a couple of seconds.
Johnny's saying all of the above.
Well, yeah. Oh, sorry, Woody Black. So, the answer is Frank Olson.
Mari got Frank.
Yeah. So, it's quite a sad story, actually. You can watch a documentary about this. Frank Rudolph Emanuel Olson, born on July the 17th, 1910, and died on November the 28th, 1953, was an American bacteriologist, biological warfare scientist, and an employee of the United States Army Biological Warfare Laboratories, who worked at Camp Detrick, now Fort Detrick, in Maryland. At a meeting in rural Maryland, he was covertly dosed with LSD by his colleague Sidney Gottlieb, head of the CIA's MK Ultra program, and 9 days later plunged to his death from the window of the Hotel Statler in New York, the US. They've actually admitted that now to his family. But they didn't admit it for years and years and years and years.
Well, and some people think that he was, given a little helping hand out of the window as well, maybe. But either way, dodgy stuff happened.
Well, they fed a whole load of him at the same time, didn't they? LSD, without telling him.
Yeah.
Rude. Right, 19. What is the name of the Australian Bigfoot? Wetiko, Sasquatch, Wendigo, Yowie, Orang Pendek, Skunk Ape. What is the name of the Australian Bigfoot? Wetiko, Sasquatch, Wendigo, Yowie, Orang Pendek, Skunk Ape. Murray said that Douglas Valentine has written about this. Wendy? Oh, Wendigo.
Holy Black Steve mumbling. For people who don't listen to Ben's channel, they won't. But
that's hilarious.
He's a forthright, skeptic Aussie
who always gives our friend Ben a lot of shit. That's hilarious.
Well, Linda says Bruce. That'd be a good name.
Right. So, has anybody put Yowie? I think I did see it.
Yeah. Yes, Alison. She said yawn twice, and I thought she was bored with us. Maybe you are. Maybe you are, even though you're winning.
I am.
But then it's come up with Yowie. So I'm hoping it was a spell check that was saying yawn, and it wasn't actually. But anyway,
I can totally understand where the spell check's coming from. Though, to be fair, the spell check is maybe the AI's fucking had enough of us, and it's trying to tell us something.
Well, that'd be about right.
That's how it starts.
Yeah, but yeah,
brilliant. So Yowies are thought by some to be the Australian Bigfoot, though descriptions of the creature vary. The creature is said to live in the outback and other rural parts of Australia. The most sightings have been recorded in eastern Australian states. I just love the names of them. So those were, I had to Google a whole load of other names that people give to their respective Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Big feet.
I think I've got an album by Skunk Ape.
I hope that wasn't a fucking...
Yeah, I've got an album by them as well, but yeah. Moving on.
Bloody hell! Don't go getting any ideas.
Oh no, the first one was
not with my bloody knees.
No.
Right. Oh, this is the last one.
Right.
I had a bit of fun with this one. Some of you don't agree with me on this one, but I was just amusing myself with this one. Why was Aleister Crowley? Now, I've censored myself because first of all, I was going to write the whole thing out, and then I thought, well, what if there's children listening? So, why was Aleister Crowley a C word? I think it's a bit late if children are listening now after that last comment. Pornography, well, it's not what we usually do.
Maybe get more viewers.
I'm just about to be rude again now. So why was he a C word? He masturbated over the oldest parts of a graveyard. He threw a sheep into Loch Ness every Sunday for his pet Nessie. He ignored the cries for help from his mountaineering party, which led to 4 deaths, preferring to sit in his tent and drink tea. Or all of the above. It's quite pornographic, this one, Mark.
Well, you saved the best till last, didn't you? Bloody hell, it's gone a bit.
I did save the best till
We've
last.
hit 8 o'clock.
I
It's
did-
not quite the watershed.
I did save the best till last.
Remember when there was a watershed on TV?
I don't think they bother with it
No,
anymore.
don't bother with it.
I don't think they bother with it. Are we there?
Yeah.
So the answer is all of the above.
Yeah.
That's why I personally, one of the reasons, think he's a C word. So who was there first of all?
Many got it, but
Woody
Black
Black.
is
Yay,
first
well
in.
done.
So he said they're difficult, but he got one at the end there.
You've got one. Right, Mark has to do some maths now.
Well, I don't really.
Oh, he don't really, apparently.
Because if you sort of look at the list, it's quite clear who's won, isn't it, really?
I can't read your writing.
Well, it's Alison, isn't it?
Oh, well done, Alison.
Alison, you got loads.
Well done, Alison.
But honourable mentions, Margaret got 3. Fetlow got 2 on a double question. Mari came in with some answers.
Yeah, but we gave 1 to John because he was funny.
Gwenwyn, welcome. Oh,
Yeah.
right. Oh, well, he's got an extra 3.
Do you think Gwenwyn is the person you work with at work who's under disguise? I reckon
I
it.
don't think so.
I reckon it's our Sandra. I reckon it's our bald-headed Sandra. You'll have to ask him.
I'll find out.
Yeah.
I'll find out. But yeah, a good range of
he's doing his arse
answers.
again.
Yeah.
So, Alison, my email address is emailing. Type it in the thing. emailingliz@aol.com. If you want a prize, send me your address. Obviously, if you don't want me to have your address, don't send me your address, but you won't get a prize. And they're pretty good, aren't they, the prizes?
This is when we find out that Alison lives in Outer Mongolia.
That's okay. It can't be as far away as Mari. Brilliant. Well done, Alison. Absolutely fantastic. This is where I bugger off for 5 minutes because give me voice of rest. And you got this Muppet here who's much more.
Don't go too far because
he's much more intellectual than me.
No. This is where I bore everyone.
So this is where we have a little chat together. And Mark chooses a topic, and then we get stuck in with quite a very interesting chat last week. So don't just go, oh, what they finished, I'm going. He's a very intelligent man. Is my husband. But I'm pushing rubbish Mike over towards you.
Right, okay.
I'll have a little break. That might please some of you.
Yeah.
And the very intelligent man and
erudite,
rubbish
that's very
Mike,
nice.
I'll leave you in their good hands.
All right.
He hasn't even got the hands.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So,
I'm basically having a wee. Okay, bye.
Too much information.
Bye.
Yeah, bye.
Get on with it.
So yeah, well, I started thinking that I was going to be writing about H.G. Wells, but it rather splintered off into different angles and stuff like that. But that's all fine. That's what it's all about anyway, isn't it? But I don't know if anyone saw the video. I know a couple did comment on it that I did a while ago, comparing the murders, the Black Dahlia in America and Jack the Ripper murders, and can't quite remember how, but I splintered off into H.G. Wells. Well, I think going back to his novel Under Dr. Moreau, and ages ago when I was at university and was reading it, I just had a feeling that he was hinting that the character in Under Dr. Moreau was Jack the Ripper, or it was something around the Jack the Ripper murders. So I think that's where I ended up going off on that tangent. So there's stuff in there if you want to go back and check that video out. But I'm going to dip into him again here because he is seminal in launching so many ideas into culture and the collective consciousness that have since been regurgitated continually through the last century and a quarter or more. The classic ideas from Time Machine, War of the Worlds, how many times that's been made into films recently. And you go back to the Orson Welles radio series. So often these ideas that have now become staples, like the alien invasion idea, time travel, various things, and I know Dr. Moreau, maybe not quite so well known, but that's got all these ideas in there about experimenting, hybridization, all this idea about science and how it can mold life, and how humanity through science, technology can transform life. So Wells lived between 1866 and 1946, a period which spans the zenith of Victorian English Empire, dominance of the world, and then into the 20th century and the World Wars. So he died just after World War II. But then that sort of changed the world order, in appearance at least, although we know there's still people behind the scenes before and since. But at least on the face of it, it was the new empire, the US, which was dominating things. So as I say, I've gone down all sort of different tangents. Like, I don't know if the sheep farm, if you listen to that, but they did a series on the Huxleys, and they were sort of laughing by the fact they didn't actually talk about the Huxleys very much. Ended up going off on these tangents and talking about all these people that were associated with them and all these different tangents, how the influences from the Huxleys went out into popular culture. And I've sort of ended up going on my own tangent, and so this is ended up talking more about the Huxleys maybe than Wells, but they were all very essential to how things are now. And I think this all feeds into the news bit which Liz was talking about Davos, because all these things they're doing now, all these agendas, I won't say they started than the era of the Wells and the Huxleys, because we know these things go back centuries in one form or another, but in this sort of modern form where we've got into this looking at transhumanism and all these different scientism, the way of science being the new religion, and how things are with it being just transforming society and controlling society. So much of that comes from these people. So looking at, I suppose, Wells and the Huxleys together, so how culture with the science fiction writing, all these images with novels that went into then films. Aldous Huxley, obviously, writer of Brave New World, similar dystopian narratives, and so predictive of where we are now. And as a lot of people have said, it's not just because, oh look, they're really intelligent. It's maybe just that they knew what was coming because they were in on these insiders that were steering society to be like that. And also, you could argue in a way, it's also the narratives they put out in those novels help form the way of thinking that is why we got the society now. You know, it's chicken and egg type thing. So Wells was connected to the Huxleys through their dad, Thomas Henry Huxley, who was also a biologist like Wells. And like Wells, he was a passionate advocate, Huxley Senior, of the Charles Darwin theory of natural selection, so much so that he was nicknamed Darwin's Bulldog. And he also advocated science as the future of mankind. And it's this idea that comes from there. I'm not just him, obviously, but this idea that's taken root now and to the level where science is seen as this sort of religion, or it's the science, which is their science, which they propagate, of course, is seen as like replacing religion. Jay Dyer's written very well about this. Just lean over and get the book. Esoteric Hollywood, which has got lots of very interesting articles in there. So again, although it's got lots of analysis of films, it's going much deeper than that and looking at all these philosophical ideas, but how it's being translated into the New World Order. But there's lots of interesting things in the chat. I would like to be reading that as well, but I'll catch up on it later. But yeah, it's Jay Dyer was writing, again, looking at H.G. Wells and many others, but how this scientism has taken over society. And he writes how science fiction, and you could say Wells a lot of people regard him as being the father of science fiction, along with like Jules Verne, first writing these ideas that people took on. Modern science, which has become this scientism, and religion, they've become fused, so that, as J. Dyer says, the end goal of all three in our age of transition is ultimately merge into a global worldview that will function as a kind of new religious mythology. So again, as I say, like the senior Huxley was proponent of Darwin, this evolutionary theory, which obviously survival of the fittest, got pushed forward, and it became this eugenics, survival of the fittest, justifying suppression of people that were classed as inferior in the name of progress. It's important to see how this fusion within society is enacted within culture, writing, particularly fiction, because that can, in the words of Disney, capture the imagination. It sets the scene with predictive programming. It shows, what if? Look what we could do. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could do this? And then alongside it, or soon after, the associates of many of these writers, now filmmakers, TV producers, will be infiltrating or setting up organizations that start, without majority of people realizing, to put in action policies and agendas which embody these dystopian dreams. And that's where we end up now, with these people that are in Davos pontificating on how we should live our lives. So the Huxleys are a perfect example of this, how this works side by side, because obviously Aldous is the famous writer of these fictions that have become reality, basically, and also his influence on the 60s popular culture that's obviously gone on to influence everything afterwards with drugs, the Doors of Perception. And then Julian Huxley, his brother, who we're going to go on to talk about, prominent academic, but involved with all these institutions with this like massive global reach. And again, he's just it's all out there that he was a prominent eugenicist. He was a life fellow of the Eugenics Society from 1925, active on its council from 1931, its vice president 1937 to 44, president from 59 to 62, supported the campaigns for voluntary sterilization, legalization in the early 1930s, and for negative eugenic measures against persons carrying the scientific stigma of mental defect. So, in the words of this article that I was getting stuff from today, it says he straddled science and social action. So it's this idea of bringing this science into controlling how institutions are run, how societies run. So he saw biology as a means to solve social welfare problems. And he consequently built bridges between eugenics and the social sciences by working on behalf of political and economic planning, PEP, which he was a founder member in 31. So it's all this sort of, these sort of terms, like people say Orwellian. Of course, he's the other, alongside Aldous and Brave New World with 1984, that sort of this predictive way of how society was going to be controlled. But these sort of groups that Huxley was involved with starting in the early days, they're always like the NGOs and the think tanks now, political and economic planning, PEP. They've got the abbreviations, and it's all this sort of, it all sounds very benevolent. But it was basically a eugenicist, imperialist background organizations, if you like, that were trying to control people. It says he was supportive of mass observation. Again, this goes into our world where we've got all the surveillance with the technology now that's come on since Huxley's time. So history has Huxley as being a modernizer, a reformer, but it's all along these lines where he's wanting these few to be controlling the many. So he collaborated with these people who are called social progressives, or left of centre thinking. It mentions a few names here which don't mean anything to me, but psychiatrist Blacker, demographers Alexander Carr Saunders, powerful figures at the London School of Economics, which we know has been influential right up to the present day. All these future leaders have played countries around the world, studied at the London School of Economics. But significantly, they tried to infiltrate society and make themselves seem progressive and enlightened. So obviously, after the 1930s, after the Nazis, after the Second World War, they gave eugenics a bad name, justifiably. So then they had to sort of change tack. So Huxley said he said he's very much anti-racism, and put himself out that he was about civil rights, but he still wanted eugenics, but he had to package it differently, because obviously these people that have been fighting the Nazis in other countries around the world wouldn't have bought into it if because supposedly they were fighting the Nazis to free themselves from this sort of kind of thinking, but in actual fact, the people that were taking over and running the world that they came back to from the wars were actually had the same views, but they just packaged it differently. But he was still had of a mind that lower classes, if you like, and people that he classed as mentally defective shouldn't exist. They should be sterilized. They shouldn't reproduce, and they didn't have a place in society. And we know where this has now obviously come to the depopulation agenda where we are now. And as this was talking about, the mad people in Davos wanting wanting us to bring us all down. And I think Corbett's done a lot, some really good documentaries talking about how eugenics, the movements of eugenics, the start of the 20th century, how they've morphed into now all this supposedly ecological anti-climate change. It's all, let's save the world by getting rid of most of the population. There's too many of us, so that's eugenics. There's too many people. When you look at the break that down, it's people who think they're right thinking and they love all this sort of, oh yeah, we must be against climate change.
They're saving the world, but for real.
Yeah, and it's like, oh yeah, you want to save the world, but you're basically saying millions of people that are alive now shouldn't be alive, and the world will be a better place without those people in it. So that is just literally the eugenics message in a different package. So Huxley sought to reconfigure public opinion in terms of making eugenically informed biological ethics acceptable to a wide public. So he picked up on the public's traditional taste for both natural history and general morality, offered a cleverly formulated synthesis on a modernistic basis of biology. So it's all proposing science, how it's outside of all these people that have all these emotional, or whether it might be religious views, and they lead to wars and things. We're much better if we let science take over. But of course, science without a morality behind it is equally as destructive and terrifying. And back to where I was originally starting to talk about H.G. Wells, it says since the 1920s, Huxley engaged in public outreach as an essayist and author of popular books, not least with H.G. Wells. Huxley espoused new media for communicating the biological gospel of a healthy society. Film represented a novel means to analyse animal behaviour. He did a film, The Private Life of Gannets, in 1934. He was involved with the London Zoo, I think it was, as well as a channel of popularisation. Relishing the role of film commentator, he appeared in the Eugenics Society film From Generation to Generation in 1937. So right early on, in his early days of broadcast media, film, what would become TV, radio, they were right in there, knowing that this is the way to mould people's thought. He extolled the idea that exceptional characters were inherited and delivered the cruel verdict that a family whom he labelled as mentally defective should never have been born.
Fuck's sake.
There you go. He incurred the wrath of the puritanical BBC by advocating birth control in a broadcast of 1930. Reprieved, he took part in the prestigious and popular Brains Trust. Huxley was a founder member in 1942, continued appearances when the series transferred to BBC in the 1950s. He was one of a select group of celebrated academic luminaries who pontificated on public affairs.
Loonies.
Here, this is a quote from the article I was reading. Here, the expert was in a position of authority, directing and dictating opinion. So again, precursor to our age. Now it's you get the expert come onto TV, and the expert will tell us what we should think. And if we think something different, then we're Looney Tunes conspiracy theorists, and we're dodgy and dangerous to society. So Huxley combined these exercises in communication with a stream of popular lectures and essays in widely read magazines as the Radio Times. So the most popular magazines of the time that just ordinary population would read. Author of the pioneer of science fiction, H.G. Wells, and Wells' son of The Science of Life. That was a book. He popularized biology and eugenics with the support of major newspapers. So all the way, this twisted idea of science and how they manipulate it for their own ends as a means of control. And this is using the new technologies as they were then to come out and transform thought and control how people think and how they behave. Their science of life coincided with his brother Aldous' futuristic Brave New World. So again, you've got the side-by-side of supposedly factual books and the science fiction, but the two are going hand in hand together. Aldous Huxley's nightmare. So the fiction writer brother, shifted from planned breeding to mind manipulation. And this is a quote, I think, from Aldous Huxley. Lacking the ability, this is a later lecture he did, I think, or broadcast, an interview. Lacking the ability to impose genetic uniformity upon embryos, the rulers of tomorrow's overpopulated and over-organized world will try to impose social and cultural uniformity upon adults and their children. To achieve this end, they will, unless prevented, make use of all the mind manipulating techniques at their disposal and will not hesitate to reinforce these methods of non-rational persuasion by economic coercion and threats of physical violence. So Aldous there was sort of talking as if he was warning against this, but again, is it like one of these things where now we've got some people who come out and say, no, well, I suppose you could say Elon Musk or something, say, oh no, they've got to be careful about these people. These people are mad and they're doing these dangerous things. And so some people say, well, yeah, quick, let's, they're right thinking, but is it controlled opposition? Was it Aldous then splitting off to attract some people that were worried about what was happening, but still deflecting off on the wrong? I don't know. Julian Huxley was untroubled by this post-Orwellian 1984 nightmare. Instead, he continued to proselytize for the opposite, the idea of an evolutionary religion based on objective science rather than revelation. But as we know, it's not objective science as science should be, because now it's become just codified. It's the kind of science, it's like a priesthood, and you must follow the kind of science that's preached. Otherwise, if you try and the scientists that say, hang on, there's other data, there's other findings that are overruling what you say, then those scientists don't get funded, they get kicked out of their jobs, or they get ridiculed. Well, that in yeah. So in the 50s and 60s, we find Huxley seeking the mantle of high priest of a new creed of scientific humanism, making prophetic statements on the future of mankind. He now took some very generalized positions, given his views as a sort of sovereign authority. He outlined a philosophy of education, which is the other area where they go into, because they're aiming for the children to mold the minds that are most easily molded. the new fresh minds. So where have I lost myself? He outlined a philosophy of education based on ideas of integration and the unity of mankind as a biological species. So that sounds really good. You know, we're all one. So you get this where you, like they say, they've co-opted a lot of the New Age movement. It's like, oh yeah, we're all one and everything. So, oh yeah, that seems really nice. But Huxley's humanism meant evolution and eugenics, and culture was a component part of the evolutionary process. His writings were widely translated, French, German, Italian, and were boosted by his UNESCO reputation. Now that's that, you know, that should be something that sets alarm bells ringing for normies. Well, if they can, but UNESCO, this United Nations cultural offshoot, if you like, he was the first director, Julian Huxley, a eugenicist. This organization that's supposed to be for the world, culture, education, bringing us all together. And you look at the website now, today, of UNESCO, and their big thing that they're pushing, education, and for the International Day of Education or something, one of these, you know, days of this or that. I think it's 24th of January, something like that. So their big thing for this is a new standard against hate speech. And looking on their website here, hateful messages and conspiracy theories that target and scapegoat specific communities have become increasingly amplified on social media and other online platforms. That's us, I think.
Just me and you.
Yeah. So there's a new standard setting instrument on education for lasting peace. Education offers multiple opportunities to address the root causes of hate speech and sensitize learners of all ages to its forms and consequences online and offline. This includes equipping learners with the skills to recognize and respond to hate and injustice, preparing them to respect the value of diversity and human rights.
Well, we won't be able to wear that hat next week.
So again, they make it all sound lovely, and of course those things are great things, but we know behind it, and again, it's they're using technology. There'll be all these instruments that is going to control how people think and how people, as we know, they get censored on the internet, on social media. So it's how it's jumped forward now to our current position and our current technology. So Huxley became a key figure in how during the 50s eugenics had to reposition itself, both socially and biologically. In social terms, the Cold War had placed left-wing progressives in an uncomfortable position, and scientifically rapid developments in molecular biology and immunology meant that human genetics had to respond to new challenges. Huxley responded by redefining eugenics as a form of applied human genetics. So he was part of establishing this new agenda. Part of this was population policies. Again, we go to the depopulation. Huxley tried to get population problems onto the agendas of the United Nations, as well as onto those of its specialized agencies, not least UNESCO, the WHO, as well as supporting the UN Population Commission. He took up population questions while still Director General of UNESCO in 1948. He was aligned with the Rockefeller Foundation. There's a shocker.
Get out of here.
Shocker.
Get out of here.
Being on good terms with the Physical Sciences Program Officer, Warren Weaver. On the population front, there were dividends for the population lobby. The Population Council managed to intrude birth control into the United Nations agenda, and population control came to be regarded as a legitimate part of the politics of international assistance. Huxley endorsed the strategy of world population control. Thank you.
You don't need that near the mic, mind. Right.
So on leaving UNESCO, Huxley continued his efforts to promote biological values, took the position that mankind had a unique responsibility and capacity for further evolution. Humanity was in unique position among all living species as having the means to manage and control its evolution. This meant that the conclaves of experts, as opposed to government representatives, and we see now it's all about experts. It's all about, oh no, it's not don't want the states, individual states. It's got to be the NGO overall one world government, had both a cultural and biological importance. In 1950, Antoine Bess, a French trader, so donor of funds for St Antony's College, Oxford, sponsored Huxley in these endeavours. Huxley organised a study group to study the problem of a possible new ideology appropriate to the present situation. So he wanted this to be an interdisciplinary and yet also a secret and anonymous group linking high-powered thinkers with practical activities.
Just because it's secret, Mark, doesn't mean they're doing anything suspicious.
No, of course not. This was Huxley in elitist mode. This involved a number of academics, mathematicians, scientists. He wanted a fully fledged new humanist institute in association with his friend and Oxford writer Stephen Spender, who referred to it as Julian Huxley's Idea Systems Group. And he remarked, every idea Julian has of a kind that anyone else would write a book about, doing his own research, Julian turns first into a committee for turning it into an institute. So like I said, you've got this two things, people writing the books and those setting up the committees and the institutions, but they're, well, like Liz has said about the different political wings, the two wings of the same bird of prey. So these two things are going side to side, from 20th century, and it's coming into now. So I think I'm coming towards it, but when not quite finished. So the UNESCO thing I've already mentioned, but as Dyer writes, the atheistic scientism is also ultimately about destroying humanity, although they always put a gloss on it to say, "Oh, we're trying to save you from yourselves." But I was thinking, in terms of looking at films and science fiction and the novels, from the H.G. Wells stuff and right into films, more modern day films, Terminator, whatever. These propaganda factories, and they simultaneously, it's all about the power of science and technology, but they always have the humans fighting for freedom. But it's basically, they're dystopias, and they're showing how science and technology can lead us to destruction. So it's this weird thing that it's like these things that they're showing, what, if you like, what they're planning to do, or what the end game is, but somehow it's being used to get people in the mind that science and technology are the way forward.
Well, I think it's making them think it's inevitable, so you give up trying to fight it.
Maybe, but or some people just want to be on the side of the powerful. I suppose that's the eugenics thing. So they want, okay, so we've got to be like the robots,
or we're fucked.
And who came up with the term transhumanism, Liz?
Huxley.
Julian Huxley. But just to sort of come to an end, maybe again we like to go with hope. So Wells, whether he was just because he was coming to the end of his days and he was starting to realize things, I don't know, or he was decaying, and maybe what he thought was his, this end game of this utopia dystopia. But towards the end of his life, he wrote "Man at the End of His Tether," his last book when he was 79. So he said, if he goes up, I think man he's talking about, then so great is the adaptation demanded of him that he must cease to be a man. Ordinary man is at the end of his tether. Only a small, highly adaptable minority of the species can possibly survive. The rest will not trouble about it, finding such opiates as consolations as they have a mind for.
Knitting is the new opium.
So maybe is there an unconscious knowledge that the plans of these manipulators of our lives are doomed to fail? They plot domination, but the heart of their agenda is destruction. Maybe instead of our destruction, the general public, humanity, let's hope it will be their destruction. Those who consider themselves superior, within their agendas, there's this degradation that's sort of falling apart. It's corroding. So maybe they've written their own end. Let's hope so. That's me.
Well done, babe. It was very clever. That was a compliment. That was a compliment.
I know it was. It was well done.
Right, hold on.
Done.
Do you want to go through the situations?
Oh my god! Right.
Let's go through the situations. I'll get it up. You get it up.
Oh right. Yeah. Thank you for staying with us, people, and for commenting and engaging with the chat and everything.
Right, you can read it on this one if you can't see it on yours.
Right.
So.
Well, yeah. Let's look for it together. Margaret's listening and washing dishes. Well, I hope you got productive with the dishes at least.
Yeah.
Margaret.
Black Dahlia.
Yeah, it's very scary, Mari. It's horrendous, and I don't think. Maybe I could be wrong, especially maybe in America. I don't know. Maybe green tea would tell how much well known it is, and there have been books and films about it. But I suppose, but yeah, I think there's so much more to it, and just the fact that it's in Hollywood. It took place in Hollywood, basically, or Los Angeles, but very close to Hollywood, that area of Los Angeles, and it was just after the Second World War. There was links with the poor lady who got murdered. Had she liked servicemen, and she went off there was a few servicemen that were suspects, although no one, again, like the Jack the Ripper, no one was ever found guilty. No one was ever tried as being carrying out the murder, and it was very ritualistic and not to say, well, I wouldn't say scientific, but it had that sort of a bit like some of the Jack the Ripper, where some people wondered if there was someone with biological medical knowledge taking bits out, and grisly.
Not very nice.
I wonder if it was again a sort of a ritual. I'm wondering of this new after the Second World War. It's going to be this Hollywood dark image factory that's going to be making the new way of thinking that's going to dominate the world. I don't know, just my thoughts out there.
So Maury says a lot about the Huxleys. Huxleys had a terrible childhood from memory.
I can imagine it would be, not to excuse what came afterwards.
That's how they get their kids into it.
Yeah.
They still do that, don't they?
Yeah.
By traumatizing them at fucking birth.
Yeah.
Woody says David Icke says they were in on it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think they probably were.
Maury, Darwin's cousin, Gorton too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Right. Yeah. So many of them were. Now we classified as population control. That's right. Yeah. I mean, what I haven't gone into, maybe for a subject for another talk, but the Fabian Society.
Oh yeah.
Which they were all part of, these, Wells and the Huxleys, and so many others up to the present day. But yeah, one of these secrets, well, not secret in terms of it's a public organisation, if you like. Their symbol, as you've mentioned, I think.
Well, last week it was in one of the quiz questions.
Yeah, wolf in sheep's clothing.
Yeah.
So that it just shows you again. It's like they got it, and they're just telling you that they're deceptively infiltrating and controlling. London School of Fabianism. Quite right, Mari. Yeah.
Viper's Nest.
Yeah, you got it, Johnny.
Your stomach's rumbling.
Stomach's rumbling. Yeah, so I'll have me noodles in a bit.
Linda says, "Trust the science."
Experts. Yeah. Back to no, we're not. Yeah. Trust the science.
Local authorities. Now, Windows on the Wall says a lot about local authorities.
Oh yeah, he was ahead of the game, I think.
And I'm literally living it because I work for a charity that is mostly funded these days by local government, and local governments are having loads of their money taken away to the point where all the local charities, because I work in a charity that helps, well, a drug and alcohol charity. There's also one down the road that helps homeless people. Bath Mind, the mental health charity, all together, Baines, Bath and North East Somerset, are trying to take £802,000. No, 802. What is it?
Well, just about 800,000.
Nearly £1 million away from local charities, because they're literally having millions of pounds taken off of local charities. So the government's defunded the local charities.
And local, yeah, I mean, yeah.
And then local governments are defunded the charities.
Yeah, but local governments still, like in Bath, all these,
it's a
traffic
tool.
management schemes, all the post
Yeah.
lockdown stuff, and it's
Yeah,
like,
but I noticed something on the local thing that popped up, and they were actually questioning: shall we keep this traffic nonsense? The boxes that stop you going down there in the 20 mile. They're actually questioning: shall we keep this now?
right.
So things are, and also that thing in London is,
ULEZ.
that's being questioned, isn't it?
Well, yeah,
Truth is coming out about that as, oh, should we have done that?
well, yeah, and people, you know, anarchically. That's not quite. But anyway, the Blade Runners, they call them. That Neil Oliver's talked about them, giving hope. People like fighting back, if you like.
I think, Mary, you got a good point. I think we're outside the postage stamp of allowable discourse.
Oh yes,
I think you might have a point.
Very much on the edge. Yeah.
Bojo's dad.
Yeah. Yeah. There's. Yeah. It's just ubiquitous all around. Really, these people in charge of us.
Or part
Thanks,
of the
Linda.
inverted upside shite. I think you mean upside down shite they want, Margaret.
Yeah. And thanks, Linda. Just change the narrative. Yeah. That's what I did.
I think that just jumped by itself down.
Oh.
I remember Ben saying it does things like that. When you're looking through it, it jumps down. So,
yeah, all these quangos, you're right, Mum.
Spiritually empty, black magicians.
Mm-hmm.
Ireland has put a massive pause to new hate speech laws.
Oh yeah, there's been a lot of protests about that as well. There is a lot of pushing back all these things.
It really is.
I mean, you said about the farmers in Germany, France,
mental
Holland.
day. Where I work, it is literally, don't get me wrong, I love where I work. I do keep saying this, and I love the people I work with. But because it's a charity, we're all a bit do-gooderish, but I'm a do-gooder, but not a woke do-gooder. So it's all full of do-gooders that are really kind people, but unfortunately they don't quite get that they're being used a little bit. Anyway, so I literally am the black sheep of where I work. Always have been. The only one that didn't have that. The only one that can see all of this shit. And I'm not joking. I had one of them running up to me the other day and saying, my brother just told me the aliens are coming. And I was just literally, by the time I'd finished, she was like, I'd literally shoved about 4 packets of red pills down her neck. And she just pulled up a chair. Whereas before, she was told me, where to bloody... I went into everything. I even ended up with Jerry Marzinski and the bloody demons. But she was ready to hear it. Honestly, it went on for about 25 minutes, and she pulled up a chair. And so, for some, you know what I'm like? I did this. What I'm doing now, it just went on and on. Talked about the demons, talked about the jinn, talked about the Kali Yuga. But she was really ready to hear it. And then my other colleague, who's really lovely, she was like, oh God, she's got fibromyalgia, the same as me, and pains and all this. She's like, why has everybody got that? Because something that you never used to hear about. And she's like, why the hell has everybody got that nowadays? And then we start talking about, why is everybody at work, our clients say they've got ADHD? And so for about 5 minutes, I'm like, we were walking to get a bagel because our other friend got us some free bagels, bless him. And she's like, I said, you don't want to hear my views on that. She's like, no, I do. I'm like, no, seriously, you don't want to hear my views on that. She's like, I fucking don't want to hear your views on that. She said, do you think it's because of the jab? I went, not necessarily, but I haven't had it. She's like, well, I only had it because I wanted to go on holiday. I know you might think that's silly, but I can't believe we're actually having this conversation.
Yeah,
you've confused me there, Mark.
I'm on a time warp on my...
He's on a time warp.
Maybe it's because we're so close together. I don't know.
But anyway,
when I'm watching it on my computer.
So I ended up talking to her. I got the pictures out of the chemtrails, and I said it's probably got something to do with that. I said it's probably got something to do with Wi-Fi that's literally going through your body now as we speak. It's probably got something to do with that. Probably got something to do with 5G. And when we got back to where I work, she was like, kind of hushed tones about half an hour later. She's like, yeah, you'll tell me a little bit more about that later on, won't you? So I have been back at this place for 3 years now, been back there. So literally after COVID, I sort of went back there and I've not been able to speak. I've had to keep my mouth shut. But people are coming to me now because they know I'm the wacky nutter in the corner that is kind of open to all this shit. And I never thought I'd say that where I work. I never thought I'd say 2 people have come to me and spoken to me. Mark's got a couple of people up where he works.
Well, yeah. Well, again, a different tack, but just talking about the farmers. The farmer protests, France and Germany recently, and and they were saying, yeah, good on them, and why don't people in this country stand up for themselves and let people in this country we let people walk over us, and yeah, they were in favour of what the farmers doing. So, excuse me, and another tack, yeah. So there's various. I think, like Neil Oliver was saying, maybe the people at Davos that and this why they're saying, oh, it's no getting back trust or whatever they call it is their theme of this year, because they know that they are losing.
You just read what Linda's put.
Parent
Parents of children diagnosed with ADHD get £500 a month. I know someone claiming £1,000. Are you fucking kidding me?
Well, that don't surprise me.
Bloody hell!
So again, they're
Hi, Susie.
Yeah, hi Susie and green tea. Yeah, people are waking up. Let's hope.
I literally was in, like a year ago or so, and you'd hear people that we listen to saying, "Oh yeah, people are waking up," and me and Mark were going, "Well, not round us, they ain't." That honest to God, in 1 week, 2 people on the same day came up to me and started going, what's going on with these aliens then?" Because they know I'm the only one in the office that will sit down and have a serious conversation about this mad stuff.
Alison was asking about those free speech laws. Are they happening in this country? Well, they're certainly trying to bring in similar things. There was an online harms bill, as they called it, which was bringing in a lot of censorship. Did you say that was knocked back, the online harms bill in the UK? Did you say you'd read that?
Yeah, I read somewhere that that's been knocked back, but then I didn't go into it because I probably got bored or something. But I did read somewhere that had been knocked back, but don't ask me for any details because I probably got bored.
But they're certainly pushing, like they are everywhere, to bring in different forms of trying to up the censorship. Although let's face it, it's already pretty damn bad. But yeah.
Oh, and there's this thing. Some people think it's going to be in by 2027. When I did some of my tinfoil hat news things a few months ago,
go back and check those out.
I did mention about how they're trying to bring in, like, you've got to have ID or a passport for the internet. And some people think that's going to be in by 2027. It's all got something to do with the UN as well. It's all the UN are involved in all of this,
and they're pushing this digital
but
ID.
And telling the UN what to do. It's like, who the fuck are you? Nobody voted for the World Economic Forum, and all of a sudden they're telling governments, excuse me, we don't think anybody should have the internet.
Yeah, because Klaus Schwab said publicly.
Don't think somebody have it. What was that?
I have no idea. I have absolutely no
I'm a racist.
That's the bit out of them in.
Nobody will know what that is.
No, anyway, but no, he was boasting about, we've infiltrated the cabinets, and and obviously all these people in the.
They're not infiltrating my cabinets.
Tapped in cabinets, though. But I mean, it's obvious. All these different leaders and prominent ministers all over the world in the governments, and no thanks. World Economic Forum, and was it Young Leaders Group?
Global World
Leaders. Everyone from Putin to Trudeau to Blair to Ardern.
So boring.
Yeah, they're all in it. They've all and it's like in the UK, you've got Rishi Sunak, the Conservative Prime Minister at the moment. He's in it, but so's Keir Starmer, the probable next Prime Minister of the Labour. So they're all in it. Scum.
Bloody hell.
Murray saying UN signed a treaty with WEF in 2018.
But these unelected billionaires. Oh, that was another thing my colleague said. She was like, one of these days, I reckon the billionaires are going to bloody rule the bloody world. I'm like, I reckon you might have a point there, my love.
Yeah, a bit out of date, a bit behind the times.
But I don't care because the conversations are being opened, whereas they would. It was battened down the hatch. I literally had to sew my mouth together, or else I'd have been bloody sacked. But people are starting to They're starting to see it. And that's why these nutters have to come in really quick and start shutting it all down. Because honestly, we were sat in a cafe today and I said, we've already done a video ages ago about, we wrote a letter to the Illuminati. This was when all the fucking mentalness was going on. We were like, dear Illuminati, can we join? Because we're fucking sick of them too. Everything, we'll do everything, but we don't want to eat babies. But we'll do all that. We don't mind doing all that for you, but we don't want to eat the babies. But can we join? Because I'm sick to fucking death of them myself. And we were sat in a bloody cafe today, weren't we? There was these 3 old people. Oh my god, so funny, gossiping about the vicar. Here, that vicar mind. And then one of them was like, "What were they saying? Oh, here, that measles is coming back, mind. That measles is coming back. I don't know where I'm going with this. Can't remember.
They're all talking about the next,
What was I talking about? I haven't fucking got.
But maybe I think I was saying to at the time when this was going on, it's like, do they not remember when they were kids and it was like, oh yeah, so and so's got measles. Let's get them all together and have a party. So they all get it because when they're young.
There used to be a miraculous thing called an immune system.
Yeah,
back in the day.
It's like, oh yeah, let's have a party.
I don't think we do that anymore.
They don't seem to have remembered that.
I don't remember it. Yeah. Right, guys, I'm getting a bit knackered and a bit bored of my own voice, so I think if it's all right with you, we'll call it a day.
Yeah, we'll have a measles party next week.
Because I'm so fucking blind. I thought that said measles panties.
Oh, blimey.
End it
on a high note.
Don't you go getting any ideas. Thanks, guys. You are so lush for staying with us and keeping us entertained. We don't have a social life or friends, so this is.
You are our friends.
You are our friends. We'll sing, shall we? No. Okay.
Thank you all.
Thanks, guys. Hope to see you 7 o'clock next week. I've already written the quiz. And is Alison still in there? Type me thing. I'll type it.
I did type it in there earlier.
I mean, my emailing. This is for anybody who wants to chat. I'm a bit shit at replying. But what I do is I forward things to Mark and he replies because he's not quite so shit at replying as me. But Alison, if you're still there, send us your address if you want to. There's no pressure. So we can send you the prize. It's really disappointing.
But please, all thumbs up the chat. Share it. Spread the word to people who might want to watch later.
Hit a bell or something.
Yeah.
Hit a bell. I don't know what that fucking means.
That's subscribe, isn't it? So you get notifications. Notifications. Bell. Notifications.
I don't know. Thumbs up it. No, Mark, we've got to do this for a few minutes because
okay.
It takes longer to turn off than you think. And
right, I'm ready.
You could get caught short. Right, ready? Let's do this for ages. Right, bye, guys. Love you. Bye. Stay there because I don't trust it.